Help support Chris and Zach Attack by liking and sharing all of our content, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for all your latest video game news and updates. Hello friends, it's Chris.
It's Zach. Hello.
And welcome to Chris and Zach Attack Destiny 2 reveal. Or, no, not reveal. More like overview?
Well, yeah. Because today is May 18th. They just had their, live... So we hadn't seen any gameplay yet. It was just trailers, like story trailers, and like screenshots. This is their first live gameplay reveal to the world.
Yes.
Yeah. That was today.
That was as of this recording just a couple hours ago. So. Yeah,
it was like in the morning. It was probably, I think it was like 10 o'clock in the morning they did it.
Yeah. I didn't catch all of it, but I know there's quite a bit to talk about, including something that's, in our opinion, pretty controversial. But either way, it might actually kind of be good for it. But anyway, let's just kind of run down kind of what was discussed. It was an hour-long video. We kind of skimmed through it. Grabbed most of what they were talking about, and we're going to discuss it. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. What are we talking about first, Zach?
I like that they showed. I think like these were actual like cutscenes from the game. Mm-hmm. I like the fact that there's going to be more cutscenes and more interaction with the NPCs in the game, because there's a lot of potential for really memorable characters in the Destiny world and universe. Mm-hmm. And then Destiny 1, I feel like they just really didn't utilize them fully. They kind of did towards the end of like basically Destiny's life cycle, like because they released a bunch of expansions for it.
Yep.
I played the second to the last expansion, and they really utilized the NPCs greatly from when I played through like the vanilla Destiny, where it's like the vanilla Destiny was basically like a series of like fetch quests. Like you talk to this person at the tower, that's like the hub. Talk to them at the tower, get the quest, go do the quest, report back to them at the tower, get another quest, go do the quest. So it was just that was it. That was Destiny. I mean, it was just fine. It was
a series of fetch quests.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun, and I liked it because, like, the system, like the shooting and the systems and the guns they control so well, and they look so good, and the game is fun. Mm-hmm. But the story was basically, it was weak. It was really weak when you first started playing it. I played through two or three of the expansions. And I liked it. I thought they were improving, and they're moving to something better by utilizing their characters, utilizing the NPCs, incorporating them into the game. And like Destiny 2, the cinematic, they're actually fighting by your side, which I like, because it's like these are characters, they're interesting characters, and putting them in with you creates more interesting gameplay and more interesting stories. You can tell with. I like that.
It's much, they have that in World of Warcraft currently, where you are more susceptible to fighting alongside the notable NPCs, such as like Anduin Wrynn or your Order Hall champions, stuff like that. Yeah. And it's nice to see that other MMOs are kind of taking this to heart. Now with Bungie's case, they are kind of owned by the same parent company, so it's possible they took some people from World of Warcraft and put them on the Bungie team to kind of help, or maybe even Activision kind of got Bungie and Blizzard together to kind of go over this whole ordeal. And we might as well just kind of jump right into it, because they announced a PC version for this game, which is first time ever, because if you recall, Destiny was originally for the consoles, 360, PS3, and then later on ported over to PS4 and Xbox One, respectively. And now with Destiny 2, they're going to still release in the consoles first. They're going to first get released on the consoles. Later on, it's going to be brought to the PC, and it's going to be utilizing the Blizzard app, or for some reason they're still calling it the Battle.net launcher.
Yeah, I don't get that, because they're like we're changing the name of Battle.net. It's not Battle.net anymore. It's the Blizzard app launcher.
Yeah,
but they still called it Battle.net.
I mean,
pick one.
It's understandable. I mean, you've been calling it this thing for so long that trying to switch it over is going to be a little hard. But at the same time, it's like when you make a commitment like that, just fucking commit, man.
Yeah, but I don't get it, because it's like the Blizzard app launcher. It's like, oh, I get it. You launch Blizzard games, but then they put in a non-Blizzard game on it. So it's like I don't know. Are they abandoning the Blizzard app? Are they going back to Battle.net? I have no idea.
That's a good question. It's hard to tell at this point, but
yeah,
it's going to be interesting, because this is the first third-party title to be featured on the Blizzard app on the launcher. It's a non-Blizzard game.
Yeah, that's the only place you can get it. You can't get it on Steam. You can't get it on Origin. Like, this is the only place you can get it, is on the Blizzard app on Battle.net, whatever you want it to be.
Honestly, if you're a PC gamer, you're going to have the Blizzard app anyway. At least, or so I'm assuming. I mean, why wouldn't you? There's a lot of great games that Blizzard produces.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very interesting, and alongside that, since it's on the Battle.net, or I'm sorry, I'm even fucking it up. The Blizzard app, even since it's on there, you can chat with people that are playing the Blizzard games. It's insane. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I like that, because it's like those features and like the Blizzard app, it's like you can do a lot with that. So that goes a long way to making the game feel more fluid and like thought out, because like, oh, you got like the chat and all that, and like the social features. Well, those are already built in to like the Blizzard app. They already have those. So it's like, oh, okay, cool. You can already have those. And maybe Activision is looking at the Blizzard app to kind of be like their platform. So instead of them releasing like Call of Duty on Steam, they're going to release Call of Duty on the Blizzard app. Maybe that's what they're going to do from now on. You don't know.
Don't know. Maybe. You might be right. I mean, because I think the company as a whole, isn't it called Activision Blizzard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so that might be a thing. Another thing too, and you can kind of see it with this game with Destiny 2. They got Blizzard and Bungie in the same room, and Blizzard gave them tips on what makes World of Warcraft such a successful MMO.
Well, I remember hearing
it.
Yeah. Well, I remember hearing about Destiny 1. They got tips from the Diablo 3 team on how to do loot. Like they got tips. Like, okay, how do you guys do loot? How can we do loot? And they shared ideas with the Diablo 3 team and the Destiny team back in the day, like that was 2014. Destiny came out, so around like 2012, 2013. Yeah. They came and they talked to them, like, because they're like, you guys have a good loot system. We want to use your loot system style. So yeah, they've been known to the Blizzard, Bungie, Activision. They've all been known to talk and help each other out.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's good. And now they're making it into the Destiny 2 with new social features in the what's that social feature called?
We got the one clans, and then the other one is called guided games. Basically guided games is like looking for group, like in World of Warcraft, like dungeon finder type thing, where it's like, I have a group of like 5 people, but we need a 6th. Let's put out like someone who's solo playing, who wants, like, I need to complete this dungeon for a quest. So I'm just going to like look for a group that's looking for one person. You join it, you play with them, you finish it, and then you're done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing that World of Warcraft does right now. Even in Overwatch, it's got that.
Yeah.
In Diablo, it's probably got that. It's something that's all over Blizzard titles. Yeah. It makes sense that it would be in this game. Other things that they got is more the adventures in just exploring the world when you're questing you get into these side quests called adventures, and you go and find these treasure chests with these monsters that you can fight with that has the key, stuff like that. And that's currently in World of Warcraft. You can go off into a side quest or go off and explore and find chests all over the place. So,
well, that just goes a long way to making the world feel more alive and deeper, and just being able to do more things instead of just saying, here's basically, I'm going to start my quest and then I'm going to go and I'm going to finish the quest. Well, that gets boring. If you do that 1,000 times throughout the game, that's boring.
Yes.
So I'm going to start my quest, go here. Oh, what's that down there? And you're all over the place. So, I mean, you're moving around, you're doing everything. And then you get to the end of the quest. Yeah. That's exciting. That leads to exciting gameplay. That leads to like, man, I just spent like 2 hours on one quest. Like, holy shit. Like, I just lost track of time because I did all this crazy stuff. And then I finally ended up back where I was supposed to go. Yeah.
And it's good. Like you said, it's great gameplay.
Yeah.
And then, now one of the big changes that they're going to go through is the Crucible. Now tell me about the Crucible in the first game, because I didn't play the first game. What was the Crucible like in the first game?
The Crucible, that's like their PvP aspect of Destiny. The Crucible, I think it was five on five. And it was basically just a variety of game modes. They like had like your normal ones like Team Deathmatch, capture the flag, capture like the points where you like go and like capture A, capture B, capture C, capture the designated points. And I really liked it. I played a lot of Crucible. That's basically the only. I beat Destiny. I beat like the main story, and then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do PvP because the thing about Destiny's PvP is you could actually get weapons at the end of each match, or like get like loot for playing PvP. So instead of like running through a quest, I could just run through like a PvP game and get like a upgraded gun or like an upgraded chest piece or something. So I mean, I played a lot of Crucible. I thought it was really fun. They're doing some minor changes, but I mean, it's like. The changes are, I don't know if they're good, I don't know if they're bad, I don't know if they're going to lead to more fluid.
So now what it's going to be is it's only going to be 4v4 instead of 5v5. Was there any other like higher?
I think it was only 5 on 5. They didn't have any like big team battles. I mean, they had like free-for-alls, like just basically like lone wolf style games where it's just every man for himself style.
Gotcha.
They'll probably still have those.
Okay. And then so several, like they said, several game types from the original Destiny will either not be coming into the new game or will have a different player count, which it's probably leaning on the latter, honestly, if it's just they're eliminating 2 people from the setup.
Yeah.
And they said, in addition, Bungie is rebuilding. I'm quoting this from GameSpot right now. Bungie is rebuilding the multiplayer's sandbox to focus more on the smaller teams. So I think at some point there must have been like a 10v10 or something like that.
Yeah,
maybe.
I know they're using like the sandbox. That's like one of their terms that Destiny likes to use and Bungie likes to use. The sandbox is basically when you're not on a quest and you're not like.
Someone's calling you, sir.
Yeah, someone was calling me. When you're not on a quest and you're not doing a PvP, you're just like running around the world, just doing like nothing. That's what they call the sandbox. So like I think one of their big things is they want you to feel like you're actually interacting with the world and changing the world when you're just running around and like killing enemies. They wanted to make it feel like you're actually doing something and progressing towards something. Yeah. Because before, I mean, you just like the sandbox in vanilla Destiny, at least when I played it. I haven't played it since like last year, but like you just run around, you'd kill enemies, and then after a certain while they just respawn. You'd kill them again, and then like they're like you'd have like little quest beacons. It was basically like dailies you could do. So like you'd like go to the quest beacon and it'd say, okay, go scan this place over here. So you'd go run over there, kill some enemies, get to the place, scan it. Done. You get experience, you get rep for that particular faction, and you do another one. That's the sandbox they're talking about.
That's not too bad. That sounds pretty fun.
Yeah, but I mean, it can be a grind. Just doing dailies all the time, it's a grind.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean,
so
that's a big thing that a lot of MMOs have. They just have the daily grind. You know, you got to get in and do your stuff, and in order to stay relevant. That's what WoW currently has. It's kind of upsetting, but it's they can't really escape that in an MMO. But
yeah. So I think one of the big things is making the grind sandbox feel a little bit more rewarding, a little bit more fun, a little bit more fluid instead of, because going to the beacons, taking the quest from the beacon and then completing the quest, it just doesn't feel very fluid. So I think they're trying to make it a little bit more fluid, a little bit more, just I guess more fun to do.
Good. I mean, it sounds like some good stuff is coming from Destiny 2, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just the whole Blizzard app thing is just kind of confusing me. Like, why? I mean, it's not that big of a deal if they want to continue calling it Battle.net, but at the same time, why make the change?
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
I don't know why they did it either.
Maybe it was just a slip of the tongue because they just keep call it something for so long. That's hard to break the habit. But
I mean, yeah, because it's been almost like I think it's been years since it's been called Battle.net. I mean, years, almost 20 years.
Yeah. So
the reveal felt cool. I mean, it's like obviously the reveal, people are going to get excited for it. They invite Destiny fans to come to the Destiny 2 reveal. Well, everyone filling the room are fans of Destiny. They're going to get super excited for anything you give them.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're already fans.
Yeah, exactly. So the room probably felt pretty lively then. So
yes. I mean, it's one of the big criticisms I see is that like the PS4 is getting like all the exclusive content, so they get all the stuff first, and then it gets to the Xbox. So a lot of the Xbox gamers kind of feel left out. They're like, well, we don't get anything exclusive. There are exclusives for the PS4 for Destiny 1 that still haven't come to the Xbox. I mean, that's been over 3 years.
That's
Xbox.
Funny.
Yeah, so I mean, I think there's like an exclusive, like 2 exclusive guns and then a Crucible map that have never made it to Xbox. So again, Xbox gamers kind of feel they're like, whoa, I mean, Bungie got their start with Halo, so it's like almost like Activision is trying to like purposely give Microsoft the middle finger, be like, haha, we stole Bungie from you almost, or like Bungie left and we got them, and we're just gonna like screw you over by giving you none of the exclusive stuff, when Bungie is only a thing because of Halo, which started on a Microsoft console.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's pretty shady to like not like look at where. I mean, you look at where you are now. If you can't like go back and see where you've been, it's like and kind of pay homage to that. Then it's just kind of like, what's the deal What's the deal, man? Yeah. Why are you doing this? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make much sense that the PS4 gets more exclusives before Xbox does. Yeah, especially because it's a cross-platform game. Like, release it everywhere, or don't release it at all.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like it's not like it's not a true exclusive. It's not only for PS4. I mean, it's for everything. I mean, I don't get why it's like you get a couple things in this game that are not available anywhere else. I don't get it. I mean, I guess that's incentive to buy it on that console. I don't know.
Maybe like every developer's just got a pact going on. Like, let's fuck you, Xbox.
Pretty much. That's what it feels like now.
Yeah, because everything's coming to PS4 first.
Yeah.
Or only. So, but yeah, I think that's. Is there anything else out there? What else do you want to talk about? One
of the biggest criticisms I'm seeing online is that people are saying, well, it just looks like DLC for Destiny 1, or it looks like an expansion for Destiny 1.
So it's not an actual sequel versus type of thing.
I agree and I disagree with that. I mean, look at the source. What company is making this? Well, in the end of the day, it's Activision that's making this. Yeah. And they're not known for really innovating with each sequel they release. I mean, there's a series that they released called Call of Duty. You might have heard of it. They don't quite innovate with each installment of Call of Duty very much. So I think they're maybe looking at Destiny the same way. It's like, okay, we're going to give you small tweaks, a couple brand new things, but not a whole lot is different. I think they're kind of looking at that with Destiny 2. It's like, well, we're going to make more money off Destiny 2 if we release it as a full-fledged sequel $59.99 versus an expansion which retails for $29.99. So they're saying, okay, more money, more hype. Destiny 2, that name alone is like you get a lot more hyped with instead of just a Destiny expansion. Well, I am not very hyped for another Destiny expansion. The game's been out for 3 years. I want to play something brand new, which Destiny 2. Oh, it's brand new. I'm excited. I'm hyped.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that from a business standpoint, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it is looking more like an expansion versus a brand new game. Maybe they haven't released a whole lot yet. Like, maybe there's supposed to be some more stuff that they are trying to keep close to the chest. Because the thing with with Blizzard is they kind of learn from their mistakes. Before at their BlizzCon, they would, if they were going to announce a new expansion for World of Warcraft, they started blurting out more than they should, and then when they cut content, people got pissed. So in the Legion expansion, they didn't reveal a whole lot. They just kind of released chunks of it, released chunks of information as they felt comfortable releasing it, because that way, whenever they did try to cut something, they didn't see, either number one, it wasn't released to the public, or number two, when it was released, it was just kind of like a small little thing that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And there were some instances with that. There was supposed to be a whole nother zone that you can level in, but they ended up cutting that, and they said in favor for a better idea. But we're not 100% sure what that better idea was, but who knows? But at the same time, with it's probably the same thing with Destiny 2, seeing as it's the parent company, Blizzard, Activision Blizzard. They probably well, we learned a lot from World of Warcraft. Let's implement all this. Let's implement what we've learned into our other MMO, Destiny. Why not?
Yeah.
So
I mean, and I think the last Destiny expansion is called Rise of Iron, and that got really good reviews, and that was actually a solid expansion. So I think, okay, so give us more content than an expansion. So, I mean, I think they're already doing that with Destiny 2. I mean, I think there's already more content than an expansion has.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think they're keeping things a little bit okay, so they're not gonna just blow their load right away. The first live reveal, I don't think they're gonna tell us every single thing about the game, because I think they want people to discover stuff. And a lot of the stuff they revealed too adds to replayability of the game. Those little going on adventures, finding secrets, the social stuff, the clan stuff, all that stuff leads to good replayability. Yeah. I mean, I say if the main story is solid, compact, if it gives us solid, compact 20 hours of content, I feel like that's good. 20 hours, I feel like that's solid amount of stuff for an RPG, because Destiny's an RPG. It's not like a Call of Duty shooter. Destiny is an RPG shooter, so I feel like it needs to be a little bit longer than a shooter. So I say 20 hours solid, 20 hours story. It tells a good story in the time it's given.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they can't forget about the end game content, because I think they learned with Destiny, people blow through your content so incredibly fast. You need to plan for the end game, and I think they are planning for the end game more so. They weren't ready in Destiny. Honestly, they were not ready in Destiny 1 for how fast people blew through their content. They thought, okay, our single player, we can kind of keep that. You can keep it and just trickle stuff out slowly for the end game. No, people blow through your stuff. Yes. People blow through it so fast. Yeah, they need to plan out the end game. So I think solid story, plan out the end game content pretty well, what you're going to do. I mean, they've already confirmed that there's one new raid. Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's give us new raids, some more dungeons, strikes, that's what they're called, some strikes, and then so you can be playing that, and then really focus on the Crucible too and the PvP aspect, because that's another big part of the game. I wouldn't mind it if they just completely separated the strikes and the raids, which is PvE, and the PvP. I wouldn't mind if they just separated them into two complete things. Yeah, I think that'd be really cool, because a lot of the problems from Destiny 1 they encountered were weapon imbalances. So it'd be really good in PvE, but worthless in PvP, or the opposite. It would be way too good in PvP and So I mean, like the balancing, I feel like if they just separate them, I feel like that could go a long way too.
Yeah, and you're right. It could. You're right about everything. They gotta balance everything out, and they gotta release the end game right away.
Yeah.
And at the same time, thing is like with we're gonna go back into World of Warcraft. They have a huge source to take inspiration from,
Yeah.
and to take advice from.
Yeah.
It would be just a waste if they didn't do it. So, and obviously they already have been taking this advice and implementing it into this game. Now, when they release this, when the players get into this raid, like you said, players blow through content pretty damn easy, especially leveling content. So when they get up to that max level raid, they're going to get the hardcore players are going to get through it very quickly. The casual players, they're going to get through it moderately quick. It'll probably take them maybe a month or half a month, something like that. So they'll probably rerun it. Like the optimal time to be running a raid over and over and over again is about 3 to 6 months. So in 3 to 6 months' time, you need to release another raid and just kind of keep going like that. And it's exactly what Blizzard's doing. So if they gotta learn from their parent source and implement everything that their parent source is doing into this game to make it great. So
I like that. I think so 3 months. So it comes out, the game ships a raid. 3 months later, a new raid, and then maybe another. So I mean, I guess every 3 months, and then alternate I don't know, maybe 6 months, and maybe 9 months you release an expansion. So 9 months into the game's lifespan, there's an expansion that adds more than a new raid or something.
Yeah, or another patch. Just kind of keep it fresh. I mean, I don't know what the deal is with expansions between this type of game versus a World of Warcraft game, but an expansion in a World of Warcraft game is basically just another game that they're getting. It's literally expansion for an MMO like WoW is a sequel.
Yeah,
basically, because they change so much, they add so much more content. But versus an expansion for this game, it would feel more like a patch that what MMO would have. So
that's basically what it is.
I don't know if that's accurate or not. But.
No, that's basically what it is. Because I mean, a lot of times, in World of Warcraft, a new patch introduces a new dungeon, or a new leveling area or new questing area. It's basically what an expansion in Destiny is like. Okay, well, here's a new area, or here's a new dungeon, or a new raid. Mm-hmm. So that's basically what it is.
Yeah, and then, if they pull the strings right, they're gonna have a great game, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing about our criticism for WoW back in its lowest points was lack of content. I mean, that's what Destiny 2 needs to avoid: lack of content. Basically release content at regular intervals to get people excited about your game again, and to have them not get bored. Because I feel that was the big thing with Destiny 1 is people got bored. You got really bored. Because it just wasn't enough to keep you going.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that's kind of plagued World of Warcraft is the last 3 expansions we've had. The last raid that was introduced was probably it was current content for about 14 to 16 months each. Yeah. So, and that's a long time of nothing coming in. And it's pretty bad, honestly. But if they can avoid that, then I think they can do pretty good. So far, it's hard to say where World of Warcraft is going to go. If we don't, because they've promised so far that there's not going to have another 14-month raid content. They said that they got content coming out well before, or they got content coming out in a good streamline before the next expansion hits, but it's kind of a wait and see for that one.
Yeah.
Because we're not 100% sure on it. But if they can kind of follow the same model as what Blizzard has promised, then they'll definitely have something going for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there anything else you want to talk about on it, or?
No, I think that was it. I mean, yeah, looks. I mean, I think it looks cool. I mean, I liked Destiny 1 a lot. I thought it was a really fun game.
Yeah.
I mean, if they keep it close to what Destiny 1 was and is, just with a couple upgrades, a little bit more content, like, sign me up. I'm down.
Yeah, definitely. I'm down too. Like, I'll if I haven't played the first one, I might buy it just to check it out, but or maybe I'll just take you guys' word for it. It must have been pretty good, but for what it was. But hopefully this comes out. This comes out on September. Was it September
8th? Yep. So I mean, it comes out pretty soon.
Yep.
I think there's like that old like if you pre-order you can get into like the closed beta.
Yeah.
So I think it's got one of those things going. So the beta probably comes out in like a month or so, like the middle of summer.
That's good.
So I mean, it's not like a beta. It's basically just like try the game early to get excited about it.
Yeah, pretty much, like a early access type thing.
Yeah.
And then so PS4, Xbox One coming out September 8th. PC, there's no release date yet, so kind of stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
So good news. Good stuff.
Yeah. Looks cool.
Yeah, so it looks cool and everything. So, anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. We'd like to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe and all that. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Help support Chris and Zach Attack by liking and sharing all of our content. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for all your latest video game news and updates.